Hello, Sugar River. Welcome again to our virtual wellness fair as we embark on this year of living well. My name is Elizabeth Yanke. This is our second of 8 videos we will be releasing on Wednesdays with an interview with a new guest discussing one of the 8 dimensions of the Living Compass program. Our second guest is Rachele Rickels, and I'm excited to discuss the topic of soul, rest, and play. As a reminder, stay to the end and hear about all of the fun things happening as part of this virtual wellness fair. Enjoy. Hello, Sugar River. My name is Elizabeth Yanke. I'm here with Rachele Rickels, and we are here to discuss the Living Compass program, specifically soul, rest, and play. The program defines rest and play as the ability to balance work and play and to renew oneself. So, Rachele, tell us a little bit about yourself, your family, and your career.
Sure. I'm an Iowa girl. I lived in Dubuque County all my life, pretty much. I'm the oldest of 10. There were 5 boys, 5 girls in the family. So being in a rural community, I was fortunate enough to have 2 grandfathers that were both farmers. And so we got to spend time on the farm, actually doing some work with it, but also in that we had fun. My grandfather's fished, so we learned to fish, and we actually put an old boat together and we learned to boat. I love water sports. That was one of the things that we did. I went to Catholic schools all the way through college. Believe it or not, I went to college in Winona, Minnesota, and there I received my BA in music education. I've taught for 34 years and then retired, but in the teaching process, I was really lucky. At 27, I met the love of my life, an industrial tech teacher and a coach, and I told myself I'd never marry a coach, but you know what? Never say never. We've been happily married, have 4 adult children, and I have 4 grandchildren. And in 2019, after my 2 parents had passed away and Doug's mom had passed, we thought it was time to join the kids. All 4 of our children had migrated from the other corners of the United States and gathered in Madison, believe it or not. So we moved here, and then the pandemic came. So that's just a little bit about who I am.
Yeah, that's great that you moved here and you were able to be surrounded by family during this time. I think that's a very big challenge for people, is living across the country and then trying to travel and be with loved ones, and that has a lot of risk obviously involved with it. At the beginning of the pandemic, it seemed like we had time to slow down a bit. And then when things opened back up, we began in this hybrid space where I feel like people are busier now. There's just a lot going on. And sometimes, and even before the pandemic, our culture celebrated that overworked person, right? That was something that people talked about, like a badge of honor. From your perspective, Rachele, how do we slow down and make time for rest and for quiet and for thinking to happen?
I really think it's quite challenging, and I'm a workaholic kind of by nature. So I did have to find time in my day and create a lifestyle that allowed for some of that play, that recreation. Since I like doing things, those kinds of things actually give me great joy, and I want to say, revive me when you're working so much. So I think that's part of it. And then I like to also begin and end my day with time for myself, time alone. I used to get out of bed to do it. I would exercise before I went to work, for example. But now that I'm retired, I actually take time in the day, just laying in bed for a few minutes, doing some breathing before I get out, and maybe offering up a thankfulness routine, and then doing that same thing at night, because it really ensures that I get it done, that I do find the time,
Yeah.
And that's why I always did exercise early, because your day is not always your day. it's involved with a lot of other people. With pandemic, we had 3 grandchildren that moved in with us.
Yeah.
And they lived here, without their parents. And so spent time teaching them recreation kind of activities that like roller skating and bike riding. Here's this old grandmother and she's got to walk and run as fast as they can pedal that little bike without the training wheels. So find the time in your day, but begin and end with it. I think that's a really good suggestion.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. And that kind of ties into our next topic here is there's a lot of research on how rest or play, and flow is really important for our overall well-being, and finding that flow or play in your life. How do you instigate that and make it happen?
Yeah, well, everybody gets 24 hours.
Yeah.
And so I think it's sort of, what do you want to do with your 24 hours? You prioritize what you make important is what happens. And I think, with that work, we just feel so driven to do it, but it needs a balance. And I think that was the best thing that I learned when I did yoga teacher training, was that word balance. Without it, we can't be whole and we can't serve other people. And so creating that balance by, like, for example, being organized. I love to have things. If I have food out and I've prepped it and do that kind of thing, I do those dishes. I don't go to bed with that to wake up to in the next day. So fitting those little work activities and then creating that free time. So my whole weekend isn't spent, trying to do all the stuff I didn't get done during the week, that I can actually use that. We're lucky here in Wisconsin. I mean, there's beautiful lakes. We have paths everywhere, trails, endless trails, and I just can't wait to get to even do more of them. So being in nature really is fulfilling, and it's very grounding, and it's very spiritual. It's a great way to connect.
There's a lot to cover on the subject of rest and play, and I especially want to touch on free time and how we spend it. And when I went through the Living Compass wellness circle, one thing that I identified that I wanted to work on for myself was social media, spending too much time with it, and the endless scroll. I think someone in my group identified the cycle of apps. I'm going to check this one, and then this one. And every time you pick up your phone, you check all 3 or 4 of those, whatever it is. Although I've been lucky now, my cat has discovered that if I'm on the couch and I'm scrolling through my phone, that's a good time for her to come up and get some cuddles and scratches. And so I've she's been helping me with that. But in the absence of a cat, do you have any advice for us on how we guard our time and not get into the monotonous habit of, turning on the TV when we come home and then just, zoning out, or the endless scroll through social media? Do you have any advice for us?
Well, I think, and I've even suggested this to my own children, and we do it. We have a little spot in our house. It's a little drop station. It's a nice place to say, okay, charge it up, and then charge yourself in a different way by allowing that electronics just to stay there. And I've told the ones that have kids, it's just like when you get home from work, maybe mute it for a while. Just, use some of that tech that you got. I find muting works well. It's like, you might hear that little bit of a buzz, but you don't have to answer it. They'll leave a message, or you can get to it at a different time. And then maybe just set that time and define what that length of time is going to be. I'm toilet training one, and I found out that, like setting a timer is very motivational. The thing I find is people love to watch TV show after TV show because, you can do that now. I had to wait a whole week when I grew up, and then you hope that it wasn't canceled until, 2 weeks
Special
later.
news report.
But in lieu of even the pandemic, I would tell Doug, oh, I love this show and this series, but we're limited to 2. We know we can watch 2 in one night. And then after that, we kind of have to stop. So just setting limitations, putting a place aside. And if you can't do it, just do it at mealtime or something, you know, just start little and it'll grow.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. I've noticed during this time, a lot of people have told me they've picked up or rediscovered even hobbies that they previously had. And I think there's also some research on working with your hands and the benefits that has to your brain. What kind of hobbies do you have or have you taken up during this time?
Well, my latest one since Christmas is I am pogo sticking.
Oh, interesting.
Believe it or not, I got a pogo stick for Christmas, bought one for the granddaughter, and I thought, I loved it. At age 12, I could pogo stick all the way around the block, you know, and I thought it brought me such joy. So I thought, I can still do this. You know, and you get tired of walking in a pattern or doing some of those things in the cold day. So now it's pogo sticking. Right now I'm doing that for several minutes every day. And got the goal that I'm going to make it up the driveway and around the turn and come on back down. And so we'll see if we make it.
Wow, that's brave.
Yeah. That's one of the plans. And I like taking time to drop certain activities that aren't really serving you and organize things. So I went through the whole Marie Kondo, you know, and find it very energizing and peaceful. And
it sparked joy for you?
Oh, it sparks a lot of joy. And I do it weekly.
Yeah.
So it keeps sparking joy and finding different ways to do that and share that with others. I've had the joy of being able to go into other people's homes and help them through the process. So I love it.
Awesome. Again, there's so much to talk about on the subject of rest and play, but I know one thing that you've talked about previously, and I think is really important, is breathing and being able to slow down and connect with yourself and God. And I'm wondering if we can take a couple minutes here and just do a quick breathing exercise and kind of slow down. And if you would lead us in that would be wonderful.
Oh, I would love to. I think I might choose today to do what they call the 4-7-8 breath.
Okay. Sure.
And this has been proven to reduce stress and to really cause you to become centered. It promotes great sleep. So if you're stuck at night and you're laying in the bed and it's like those eyes are just, they might be closed, but they're not going to sleep. It's a great one to do. So I'll begin just by sharing how it works. You take a breath in through your nose for 4 counts. And then you will hold that breath for 7. And then we will exhale with as much force and power as you can, kind of a whoosh for the count of 8. And then you close the mouth again, breathe in through the nose, hold it, and exhale. So I will demonstrate first, and then I'll ask you to join me if that works for you. Okay. Yeah. So here I go. I'm going to exhale. And that's it. It's just 4 times through that breathing process and you stop. So it's lovely. And 2 times a day, again, morning, night, for starters. If that guy's beeping on the horn in your traffic as you're heading home, you could try it then for stress relief. But for those that would like to join us, if you're in a seated position, I say try to get so that your feet are flat on the floor and you've got a nice straight spine. And you can do this sleeping in a supine laying down or standing up. So here we go. Let's exhale to begin. Ready? Exhale. Close your mouth. Inhale through your nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Release. Open your mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Close. Inhale through the nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. Open the mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Close the mouth. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Our last one. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And exhale. Release. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And just notice how you feel. And continue on with your normal breath pattern.
I feel good. Oh, that is very still. It makes you just kind of calm down. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, great.
Well, Rachele, thank you so much for your time. I know I'll be using this breathing exercise in the future. And any last words of wisdom on this topic of rest and play for us today?
Well, I kind of think it was one at the beginning of the Bible, and one of the first stories, God created us and he did it in 6 days. And on the 7th day, he rested. And I think he rested so that he could enjoy what he had created. And I think if we can find those minutes in each and every day to do that, we will have a sense of love for ourselves and then able to share that with others. So continue to breathe and play hard and find some quiet time in nature.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Rachele Rickels, for being with us today. And it's been a delight to talk about this topic. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I want to once again thank Rachele for her time and her words on rest and play. Hopefully you've downloaded the crossword puzzle from Thursday's eSource, and we'll give clues to that crossword puzzle after each interview and in the eSource each week. So make sure you watch and read to collect them all. This week's clue is 1 down. Again, 1 down. The enemy of form and order. The enemy of form and order. Again, find the crossword puzzle in the eSource along with another clue. Turn in your complete crossword puzzle for a chance to win a prize at the final drawing at the end of this virtual wellness fair. Secondly, we've heard your concerns about meeting in person for the Turn Up Wellness event on Sunday, January 23rd after service. And this is about a year of living well, so we want to take your health and safety into mind. And we've decided to shift that Turn Up Wellness event to an online event at 11 a.m. on Zoom. So hopefully that gives everyone time to head home after the service if you do join us in person for that, and log in and discuss with others in the congregation and hopefully find a bit of inspiration on your journey with wellness for 2022. Find the link in the eSource. Thank you again for joining us on this adventure in the year of living well.